All right, hello everyone. Let's take a look. Today we've got Wednesday, and let's start off with gold as usual. Now here we go. So on the daily, okay, so interesting day as you can see. We've got a indecision bar. All right, so this indecision bar can be interesting. Not exactly indecision, slightly up. As you can see here on the PST, it's blue. All right, so it closed one tick or so above the opening price. Okay, so this is yesterday's opening, the white line, as you can see, and this is today's opening, and the purple line is the closing. All right, so as you can see, it's a bit of a drama. Now yesterday, remember, I marked out this zone and I said if the market comes down into Astro hours, you want to go long, all right, because this is an impulse wave up and it's broken that resistance level high. So if the market does pull back into an Astro hour, we want to kind of like go long. Plus Monday was a swing day. Now remember, for gold, Tuesday is also a swing day, so we've got a bit of a dilemma here. It could be today, it could be Monday or Tuesday when we've got a situation like that, or it could be both days. Why? Because Monday can go up, Tuesday can make a high and then flop down. And if you take a look at Tuesday Astro hour, we had a pullback down. I actually made a comment on this yesterday on Twitter as well. If you're not following Twitter, it's good to do so, because sometimes I'll make a post up there, you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about, because you've already been because you've already seen what I posted in the members area, right? So push towards 545. This is obviously my time, as you know, and then the market will see it as attractive. So that's exactly what happened. Market came down into 545, which is, as you can see here, all right, 545 coming in there, and this is where I got in, and that position is still open. That position is still open, and I've moved the stop loss under the low of the resistance support level here, which is the resistance it broke, and that's the support. And actually that was a good place to move the stop into, because in the closing session, as you can see, there's a harsh move down, but obviously we haven't been stopped out, and even if we do get stopped out, we're in profit since the profit's been the stop loss was taken up. Now if we have an ongoing continuation, the next swing day is going to be what? The next swing day is going to be Friday. Or is it Friday or Thursday? Let's check it out. It's Thursday, so tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow we've got another swing day happening. This could give us 1, 2, 3 days of highs, and then on Thursday we could look for a sell-off. Okay, that's also a possibility. So this is why I've kind of like, this is the previous week's high. So I haven't put a profit target on this, because I'm going to be waiting for the New York session. If I don't get stopped out, and if the market keeps pushing up, we should get into a price which is going to be interesting at 4 o'clock. All right, so 4 to 6 o'clock for us is going to be interesting. And also 11 o'clock is also not bad as well. All right, so look out for 11:45. Those are like nice time zones. If the market goes up and then comes back into 11:45, going back up again, I think is okay. All right, so we can definitely do that. So that's gold. All right, we can still push up into Thursday and find a higher high, and then the market can do a bigger retracement, and that's how it can pan out. On the daily, you can see it's got, you know, it can keep pushing up. All right, this is a nice bounce, you can see right off the PST level, so that's good. And if this indecision is if this indecision turns into a continuation, then, you know, we might go higher. All right, but in any case, if you went in yesterday, you should be in profits. As you can see, I'll put the take profit at 2,500. I don't think it's going to go to 2,500, but like I said, I'm going to wait for the New York session and then judge the right time and the price to take a profit. Okay, so don't need to rush the trade because I've already taken profit off. So this is like a free trade which we can follow through. Normally I don't leave trades overnight, but because of this special situation in New York tomorrow, I thought the market might make even higher highs than the high of last week. So we'll see how that pans out. Rightio then. If the market goes lower, okay, and you want to get back into the game as a buyer, then we're going to have to now change this, and we're going to have to pull this back into this zone. Okay, so now we're going to have to see if the market gets back in here. If it does, you can again at an Astro hour, if it's an Astro hour, go back in. Now remember guys, I'm always saying let the Astro hour match the price. So this zone I marked in yesterday, as you can see, it came here twice, but this was not an Astro hour. This was the Astro hour. Okay, so there was no need to go in long here. There was no need to go in long around here. We had Astro hours around here as well. There was no need to go long or short actually in this zone, simply because the price wasn't where we wanted it to be. So today as well, if the price dips down into an Astro hour, we can go up. Now I've also drawn these technical analysis lines. If you've taken technical analysis from me, then you know this is how I'm following it throughout. So the daily pivot, the opening, the closing price, they're all in here. We're all stacked here. The low of New York last night is this resistance level. When I say low of New York, the bounce location, all right, it's that and then that here. Okay, so this zone is okay for a support. If the market mucks around here, okay, there's a possibility that we might keep pushing up from here. If it goes down at Astro hours, then buying here, then obviously the weekly pivot and the low zone of yesterday is also okay. If you want to sell, as usual, the opening zone is a bit of a sandwich area. You want to do it at the tops. You want to do it in the New York session. Okay, this is why I said 4 o'clock. Between 4 and 6, it's going to be interesting, because if we're going to be low, we're going to think about buying. If we're high, we're going to think about selling. We're going to play both sides of the game. But remember, the next swing day is Thursday. If the market does not go above Tuesday and they keep pushing down for the sale, then Thursday can become a low for us, which then we can, you know, turn that buy into a sell and follow into Thursday. Euro dollar. Now remember also with this, we're looking for a bit of a reversal from the lows. Now here, this is a bit interesting. Euro dollar, we had Monday, which is there, okay, and Tuesday went slightly lower, but we were expecting a bit of a lower motion. Why? Because of the gap here. All right, so let me just draw that. You guys know about that. As you can see, the market dipped into there, so now pushing up is okay. If you want to go long with this, the Astro hour to do so would be on the lower level if it comes back down at 11 o'clock. For this today, 11:45 is looking nice. So if we're down here somewhere, okay, at the opening, the closing price here, it's good to go long. It's good to go long from here as well. Okay, once 11:45 is over, if you miss this range here, then don't muck around with it until New York. And you got to be a bit careful in New York, because we've got several hours in New York. The one to look out for, if you want to look for a decent entry, is going to be between 5:50 and 6. So let me say 6 o'clock here. All right, between, let's say, 5:45 and 6. All right, and this could be this could end up like this. The market can be somewhere, but the change might come around at 6. Okay, so just be mindful with that. The change might come around at 6, and the market might muck around at a level from 426. In any case though, 6 o'clock for the euro dollar is not looking bad at all to get in. And obviously you got to follow it with the other hours, so until once it picks up, once we understand the direction, it should take us to 7:45, and then it should even push further towards 9 o'clock. All right, so once we get direction, we should kind of like get this pushy move into there, and that could also hang around here or bounce to go into 11 o'clock. All right, so that's also something you want to keep in mind. 11 o'clock, it's going to be 11, let's say 11:15 my time. All right, 11:15 to 11:30. Okay, so just make sure you're trading at the right time and price, because then you're safe. Remember, we had this low zone yesterday. This is the Astro hour. See how the market sweeps the low, comes back up. Okay, it's just sweeping stops and comes back up, and this is the Astro hour to get in. That's just bang straight in there. So this is now turning into a double bottom with a sweep in New York. So going up is not a bad idea. However, this is still, as you can see, this is still a day that closed lower, so it's still a red day. All right, so what we want to do, if today ends up becoming a blue day, then Thursday and Friday we need to go up. All right, so hopefully today we'll have a small blue bar, and then Thursday, Friday we just buy the lows to push up. Now SP 500, here we are. Now on the 15-minute chart, you can see, all right, here we are. This was the Astro hour here. These were the price levels we talked about. Market came down nice and easy. Now we've got a sideways market here. Selling the highs is okay with this. I still say we can sell this off, okay? However, a better sell position is up here. That's a price of 42. 5,103. As you're looking at my technical analysis, start now noting your levels. All right, so that's 42. It's a price of 5,103. So if the market comes up to 5,103, this is a sell zone for us. Okay, so if it comes up, it's sellable. Now you can buy to go up there, but obviously the market's just crashed down and we have room to come down. Remember, we want to come down here, all right, into this bar, and it's got room to come down. So selling there to push down is a better option, because you're not going against the move. All right, and in the longer term, look where we want to come to. So if it goes up, just push down. All right, because we've got room to come down. That level there's 5,104 as well. That matches fine. All right, so this is your kill zone up here. So I'm going to do now is I'm just going to extend this over here. Why do I need to take this into consideration? Because that's the place where the market flopped and there's a gap there. All right, so you need to take that into consideration. But because we know the Astro hours, if we end up here at the Astro hours, then you know obviously what to look out for. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. Now here we are with Dow Jones, same kind of setup. All right, yesterday I said this zone, we're still expecting lows, but you want to sell on a pullback up. All right, you don't want to just blindly keep selling. Now remember, this zone is important. If you've learned technical analysis from me, you've got to take these long wicks into consideration. All right, because the market want to dip in there, touch it at least. Okay, and that's what we can see here as well. So it's done that touch. A bit of a pullback is okay to push down. Let's see what that is. that level still stands. If we get up there, it's a sell zone. And another sell zone is going to be this 35, 34, 37, 994, 37, 994, which is here, all right, plus 38,038, which is nice. All right, so it'll just sweep stops. So this is the first level to sell at. Okay, the second is going to be up here. All right, so that's the level. Let me just refresh this. So that's one zone, okay, to sell off at. It's an impulse wave market going sideways. We do want to sell the highs. If it matches an Astro hour, do so. Okay, and like I said, this is also okay. Let me get rid of that. We don't want to see that. This zone is also okay to sell off weekly pivot, obviously. Now, when we have a bunch of levels, like, well, this is the first level, second level, and that's the third zone, sometimes people say, well, which one am I going to use? Well, for us, it's much easier because we've got Astro hours on our side. So if at 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm up here, and in a smaller time frame, I see a sell reaction here, then I can follow that through. Okay. So it really, this is why Astro hours are so important, because we're matching a price to a time, and when it gets there, we can take a trade confidently with a tight stop loss. So, our trades are pretty tight. Also with the gold example yesterday, see how tight the stop is and how fast you can cover that trade and just let it ride. Now here's another one. This is NASDAQ. On the monthly, you can see that's a nice engulfing. So shorting it is a good idea. Our place today is 45. Mark that price 17,910. So 17,910 is there. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's your zone. It covers the gap. It's the zone where the market flopped. So, okay, it's there. All right. This is the zone. Now there's one little gap here as well, but I don't see that as a big drama, but we'll keep this extension. Now sometimes they also ask, well, this is a bit of a big gap. Yeah, it is a bit of a big gap, but we've got Astro hours, so you're not going to dive in. You're going to wait for the hour. So when the price gets here, it could get to the timeline when it's in the middle here. It could get to the timeline here. If it gets to the timeline here, you sell the lows, obviously, but then you've got to put the stop loss up. If the risk is too much with a big stop loss, you bring the volume down. Don't trade with huge lots, obviously. Manage your money. All right. So this is the 11 o'clock. Okay, so 11:45, let's say. Let's put it to 11:45 here. And obviously, like I said, that New York session is going to be important when it comes to trading the indices, the 4 o'clock and that 6 o'clock zone, 5:50 to 6 o'clock. So I'm just going to mark 6 here. So these hours are going to be important as well. So if we end up somewhere here, it could be like a flop, retest, and then a sell-off. You could do like an M here at the top at these Astro hours and then sell off. If we end up somewhere low, should you think about buying? Well, look, when the market just broke out of the box and the sellers are all excited, the breakout traders are in here and the market has closed below that, and yesterday it also closed below that resistance line. All right, it's a bit of a drama. Now today the market should go up because we've got a blue day, price targets are done, but PST targets, we've got targets down. So if you want to go up, I understand that, and the next swing day is going to be Thursday or Friday for the indices. Then what? Well, if the market comes up Thursday, Friday, we'll look for a sell-off. Okay, so that's the option. So if you want to buy, you can. It's not that you can't. Let's get rid of this. Where do you want to do that today? Well, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky. You can either do that at the low of yesterday, okay, or at the daily pivot here. All right, this is the daily, the opening and the closing price. If we're at an Astro hour here, I don't like this zone much. because a bit of a sandwich zone between the high and the low. But if you want to punt it, that's the zone with a tight stop loss. You can do so. The second option is, like I said, it's going to be the low of the day. If the market does a sweep as well, kind of goes up, that's fine. We having a first blue day is also good. As you can see here, the first blue day will give us an opportunity to dip our heads back in there. 17,897 is going to be on the price. So 17,897 is here on the price as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, the PST matches the price as well. This is the zone you want to be selling at. Okay, so I'm just going to push this into there so you know. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, remember I said if the market goes up, you can sell it downwards because we've crushed that. This is an important zone, obviously. Now here we've got a breakout. Do not stand in front of it because the market may go back up again to sell off. Now remember, I gave you that price to sell this week, and if you sold it, you should have been fine. Also remember, the weekend was a swing day, so if you bought the low to go up and then upon my pricing sold it off, you should be up and down, and you should have also shorted it here on a Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday was a swing day, so sold it, bought it, sold it, you should be okay. But here we've got a PST level breach. So on the weekly, goodbye kiss at 76, 75,960, which we talked about. 75,960 is all the way up there. All right, I don't know if it'll be going up there, but this zone, you can see these targets have been done here. Let's clean them out. New day. So two things can happen. This can keep pushing up. If it does, do not sell, because that will go to 59, which is 71,050. All right, so 71,050 is all the way 7150. Whoopsie daisy. Is here, so we could, the market can go back up into that zone. What else do I have? 63.66. Mark them in if you're trading Bitcoin. 73,615, 75,668. Okay, because if it breaks out on the daily, we've got room to push up. You should cover the trade here. Okay, if you want to buy this on a pullback, you can at the opening, daily closing here, or the low of yesterday. We'll probably do a sweep if it does that and then push up.